Today we're joined by Anthony Deptula. He is the writer, producer, and an actor in the movie One Too Many Mornings. Anthony, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having.
My first question for you is because not all of us are independent film experts, is just to give us a quick background on sort of before digital distribution, generally, what is the model for independent movie? How does it raise some fund? How do you raise the funds? How do you shoot it? And then what is your vision for sort of distributing it and making money in sort of a general sense, not in this case?
Sure, I think there are a lot of models for independent films, but at least our model is the micro budget model, where you try to do it as cheaply as you can, and then once we're under $50,000, so that's our model, and then I feel like there's two other models which would be $1 to $2 million film, and you kind of get a name, and then a 8 to $15 million film, something like Little Miss Sunshine. So we're at the very bottom.
In a world before digital distribution, what would your goals be, sort of both financial goals and more who would see your movie when you make a movie for $50,000?
Well, I think the rules. I don't know. I think our goals would still be the same. Still try to make our investors money back, and if there's some sort of profit that we can make for him. Uh, I definitely think for us it would have been harder to do comedy. Uh, it it might be harder to do a comedy. Back then, even 2 years ago, it's sort of you do a horror film, and that you can sell that internationally. I still think that's a good rule of thumb. I don't have any experience with it. Um, the horror genre is, I definitely appreciate it, but our film's a comedy, so um, I think it's still the same goals. It's just there's more platforms and more arenas where you can hopefully make your money back.
So when you had those movies, would you be looking? I mean, would you put it out in independent theaters or in festivals or both or a combination? Is that sort of what you'd be doing? Is you'd be shopping it around to sort of individual independent theaters and hoping that you can get in enough of them to make the money back for your investor?
Yeah, I think you'd open in New York and LA and hope that it does well enough to expand to other theaters. Um, you'd have to get a distributor to do that for you. I am not claiming to be an expert on this either. This is the knowledge I have. So yeah, I mean, with that was sort of, and it's still a way to release a movie, and we don't hate or we don't discriminate against those distribution companies or larger distribution companies. This is just the right fit for us right now. We still have a sales agent, and we're looking to do a VOD, video on demand, where it's our tour and what we're doing will act like a marketing campaign to help, lift everything up. So, there's different strategies, and it's definitely with the online, our website, and what we're doing. Uh, I believe, I don't know, I think. It's definitely an interesting way to release a film, and we'll see where we end up in a year. But I'm pretty happy so far.
Could you explain now a little bit of sort of what you're doing to distribute it? What your path is for this movie?
Sure. I mean, we premiered at Sundance, and from there, that's where we launched. You could download it. You could buy the DVD uh, off of our website at the festival while we were, in at Park City. So it was available. And since then, we're having special engagements where we're screening in different cities. Virginia, we've done two LA screenings. Uh, we did USC. I did a Skype class with University of Central Florida yesterday, and we're just getting the movie out there. By means of friends, contacts, people that are reaching out to us. from sites. John August, we did a Q&A with John August, and we were on his blog. So a lot of people are reaching out to us via that blog. So we're doing our own grassroots marketing campaign and seeing where it takes us.
Is there one thing that you found to be really popular? Are people really into buying the DVDs or really into buying the downloads, or is there something that sort of really seems to be the one thing, or is it more of a general everything is sort of moving together?
Yeah, it's different for different audiences. If we can, with the software Topspin that we're using for our store and our back end of our webpage, uh, you can you can separate and track your emails, who's buying them, your audience that way. So, for instance, John August's blog, it was mainly downloads. We gave them a special offer on the download, and it was only available for a week. And from that, um, we had over 100 downloads. So for them, it was downloads. For our general audience, I think it's DVDs. Um, and it's just the beginning of the process. So, maybe we'll do a follow up interview in a year and I'll be a shattered person. Um, or I'll be very happy and be like, oh, we did a great job. Or I'll be both. I'll be shattered because I'm so tired. Uh, so it's definitely, and for other, if any other filmmakers are watching, it's a process to put yourself through this, and you're living with a film. In the past, you'd get a distributor and you'd be done and you're moving on. Where we're still talking about the film, and luckily we really love the film, because if not, I don't think it'd be possible. Because if you hated it, like any slight bit, as a film, your own film, you just be done. You're like, I'm not doing this.
What point in the process did you realize that you were going to use sort of this digital distribution? Was it from the beginning, or was it some point, when you were coming to Sundance that you realized this was going to be something you could incorporate into it?
Yeah, I think it was pretty. It was like 2 months before we knew that we got into Sundance, and we were kind of thinking about it. Um, and right now, it's like pretty limited just to our website. So we want to expand it to, all the other digital arenas, Hulu, iTunes. There's a bunch out there. Uh, so we're kind of small scope right now, but digital seemed like a plan that made sense for our film. We were under $50,000. Um, we looked at some of the other films that weren't getting distribution, and we just thought we'd give it a shot. And it was pretty early on. So we were finishing the film at the same time. We were also building our website, producing DVDs, uh, to make it happen. So it's one of the other things we were trying at the time was to do video on demand, day of our festival, which with Sundance, I think we just didn't have enough time, and you'd have to, I know South by Southwest has done it where they've had a film come in and they, premiere it on video on demand at the same time as the festival. Sundance did it actually this year with some other films. Um, so that takes time. Video on demand takes, there's windows for those different distribution models. 5 months, 4 months.
If you were going to start another movie knowing you were going to use this sort of, you're going to build a website and do all this digital distribution, would you have done anything differently early on, or did you feel like by the time you figured it out, you had enough time to do everything that you wanted to achieve with it?
I don't know. I think there's definitely lessons that we've learned. I would say that I don't know. I don't think I'd change anything, per se, just because I don't know. I think you need to be naive to this process as well a little bit, and then you can, hopefully people can learn from us, and then we'll learn from them, and then we'll take another crack at it. If it's right for our next project. So I don't, I don't think we would have changed anything. We'd just always get more money. Like we have another, like, have an extra $5,000 to $10,000 for publicity or marketing. We had no marketing money at all. So all of our marketing has been just through Facebook, through our website, blogs, and we've been, I think, doing a pretty decent job.
And if you when you think about sort of how this stuff will evolve 3, 5, 7, even 10 years in the future, do you see it becoming more viable for people to sort of raise a little bit of money, write their own movie, shoot their own movie, and then be able to realistically think that they can distribute either without a distributor or primarily without a distributor? I mean, is this something that will become more possible, or are you sort of we're in a transition period and not so much growth in it?
I don't know. I feel like people have been making films this way for years now. And before there was theaters that would show these types of movies, and those some of those theaters have gone out of business. And like you said, this might be a transition, and there are waves. But I'm happy that people will get to see our film, or somebody who doesn't usually have the opportunity to see it uh, has an easy way to access it. Um, and I think I think it's gonna continue, and hopefully, I think it's gonna, do well for small little films, and I hope that this will also lift up the awareness of these films, and then, you know, hopefully help build the distribution market back up to where, there's nothing like a theater experience. It's really true. Like, after Sundance coming back, I love all this, these Skype Q&As, but seeing, um, we've had two LA screenings and three. So the first one, it was, sold out. And it was 180 people, and the one down at the Downtown Independent. The first one was at Cinefamily. That it was like 140 people, and then the USC one was on a Wednesday night. We had no idea, and there was over 100 people there. We did no promotion. Great program. Alex Ago runs it there. But yeah, I mean, it's great to have, use the access to people who aren't in your local area to see the film, because there's a way that, there's something special about being in the theater. So hopefully that will, all these distribution methods will lead to a stronger distribution for these films to continue across the country into theaters, and like special engagements, or extended runs, something like that. Because the amount of people that have reached us, though, via I came home yesterday and there was a phone call from San Francisco State, another email from Atlanta that wanted to do a screening, and one more from Palm Springs. So it's kind of cool. It's just like we're putting it out there, and I think people are hearing our message.
My last question for you is, what's next for you? Are you going to be able to stop living this movie and move on to something else, or do you feel like your next year is going to be tied up with just this movie, this movie, this movie?
I don't know. I guess this movie's gonna kind of be like an ex-girlfriend or something. Like, it's just like gonna linger. It's like gonna be there. Even though I've never really. That's not really how my ex-girlfriend history has been. Uh, but it's just like I want to make another movie this year. Try to get something set up. I just want to start writing again, and that's kind of one of my main goals. And I have another project that I'm working on. It's a TV show, and that starts. I have to start writing that, and that goes into development here soon. So hopefully I'll find some time. Well, I have to write that, because there's deadlines and stuff. Well, we didn't have a deadline for this movie. It was 2 years in the making. So uh, I don't know if we'll have a deadline for us talking about it, which is fine. Like I said, I love the movie. So I think that's the most important part. If you're going to do anything like a micro budget film, or anything with distribution like ourselves, you have to be passionate about the project. The movie has to be good, or some sort of level of professionalism, if you're asking people to pay for it. And yeah, you have to really want to live with the project. So
Well, awesome. I
I
appreciate
wish
you.
I would have had a coffee mug. One too many mornings on it.
I know. I was gonna say we can tell people to go to the website, which is one too many mornings.com, right?
Yes.
And you can buy the DVD or you can download it, which is what I did, and then watch it. Not a theater experience, but a TV at home. It was actually I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. So
I watch movies all the time at home too, but um, like I'm a Netflix junkie, so
right.
either way, as long as people see it. But uh, uh, thanks for having me on the show.
No, we really appreciate it. And good luck. And maybe we'll do a follow-up interview in 6 months and a year and see how all this stuff went.
You wanted to say, see how shattered you are.
Yes, I wanna see exactly what does a shattered man look like after 6 months or a
Let's
year.
check in a year. We'll see what
Maybe
happens.
you're rolling in money.
That
Maybe we just shoot you from a big bed of money and you're happy.
it would be like PayPal printout receipts. It's not any money anymore. You can't even
Well,
roll around money. It's just like stuff you print out on your computer.
either way.
Uh,